So, while we're talking about very silly things, let me drink some coffee for 8 to 15 seconds real quick. Hold up. So, I got another one of these headlines that's really just going to make you, if you haven't seen this, I'm sure you have. It's some really dumbass fucking horseshit, okay? So let's check this out. The GOP's horrors of socialism resolution was bait, and Dems took it. Now, I just want to say, this is from MSNBC. I actually do agree with the point that this article is making. I do think it is actually a good point here. But if you didn't see it, there was this bullshit where the Republicans brought up literally virtue signaling. I mean, we're talking about congressional virtue signaling is what this is. They brought up a resolution to denounce the horrors of socialism. Now, of course, anyone with more than 2 brain cells understands that capitalism has killed far more people than socialism. And most of the problems with socialist countries are because of corruption, and corruption spawns what? From capitalism. People wanting to compete and make more money and gain more power than other people, right? That's not really compatible with socialism. It's also a fact. We've never reached socialism, right? We've had governments that have tried and failed, and oftentimes they failed because of capitalistic elements within them, right? So all of that, withstanding, even then, let's assume you want to take the dumb fuck opinion of socialism, like China's socialist, goddamn Russia's socialist. I mean, they're not really, and they theoretically, maybe, if you want to be stupid, they could have been called socialist 35 years ago, whatever, but they're not. They never really were, but, well, okay. But let's assume, all right, we're taking the American definition of socialism, which is not the definition. It's just, it's like the American definition of chicken, right? It's actually just chlorinated fucking juice, okay? But anyway, even if that's the case, companies, synonymous, really, but countries that have capitalism as their first and foremost method of, economy, have killed more people. I mean, it's just a fact, right? Like, I don't even know what to tell you, right? If you exclude all quote-unquote socialist countries, and again, calling them socialist, big red flag, but if you exclude all of those countries, capitalistic countries have killed more people. That's just a fact. It's a fact. 40,000 people a year die in this country, before the pandemic, died in this country because they didn't have health insurance. That adds up. That adds up. They didn't have health insurance. They died? Why didn't they have health insurance? They weren't rich enough. Why weren't they rich enough? Because capitalism fucked them over. Million plus dead motherfuckers from COVID. Why are they dead? Because capitalism forced them to go to work. We can talk more about how many people have been killed by capitalism, especially if you take a grander look over the last 150, 200 years. You can see a lot of dead motherfuckers from capitalism, right? But again, is the United States going to have a resolution to denounce the horrors of capitalism? Of course not, right? So if you want to take the dumb fuck approach that socialism and capitalism are equally as bad, again, you're a dumbass if you believe that, but a lot of people do, because a lot of people are fucking stupid. Even then, again, capitalism is worse, right? But wouldn't you want to be the enlightened centrist and say, yeah, all extremist forms of economy are bad, right? Capitalism is as extreme as, attaching a bomb to yourself and blowing up a World Trade Center. I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, that is extremist shit. Homeless people dying in the streets because it got a little too cold outside? That's fucking crazy, okay? House Republicans introduced a measure this week calling for Congress to condemn the horrors of socialism. It was bait, and most Democrats took it. The 109 Democrats who joined every Republican, including, by the way, the new minority leader and Democratic Party leader in the House. So good job, dumb fuck. The Republicans, again, let's look at the Republican Congress, the Republican House so far. Week 1. The force the vote disaster. Week 2, just yelling and crying. Week 3, George Santos, and then kicking Ilhan Omar off of committees. And then week 4, they're denouncing. And by week 4, the Democrats have already buckled. They're already gone. Week 4, they're gone. They gave up. What happened to this resistance bullshit? Remember when #resist? They gave up. Took less than a month and they already gave up. The 109 Democrats who joined every Republican in the House to vote in favor of a non-binding resolution lent their voice to the initiative, but their support will have no tangible effect on policy. Still, it is a victory for the GOP, which has succeeded in a strategic effort to jam a wedge in the Democratic caucus, further stigmatize the left, and cook up some cynical ads for the next election cycle. That's literally all they're doing? I love this. Look at this, fucking more from MSNBC Daily. I almost want to read this just to get triggered. Rep. Ilhan Omar hit not 1, not 2, but 3 anti-Semitic tropes. She had to go. I mean, again, that whole thing, I don't think I made a video about it yet, but Jesus fucking Christ, the whole Ilhan Omar is an anti-Semite thing. I don't even know where to begin, with that fucking colossal pile of horse shit. But anyway, let's get back to this one. The resolution states that socialist ideology necessitates a concentration of power that has time and time again collapsed into communist regimes. Now, again, it's just illiterate. So socialism leads to power, and then once the power is at the top, it becomes communism. Okay, let me read this again. Socialist ideology necessitates a concentration of power that has time and time again collapsed into communism. Now, first of all, socialism and communism are essentially the same fucking word. It's a synonym. Commune, community, communication. What is that? People. When you communicate, when you socialize, they're synonyms, okay? Socialism and communism are the same thing, okay? They mean the same thing. They're identical. Now, you can make an argument that, in context of the world, they slightly mean different things. You can make that argument, but definitionally, they're the same fucking thing, okay? But with that in mind, think about the United States government. 109 Democrats just don't know basic English. This is basic English. Social. That's basic English. The word social, when did you first learn how to use the word social? When you were 2, 3 years old? I don't know. Social. It's a very 109 Democrats and all Republicans don't know what the word means. But okay. Socialism. So you have socialism, right? Which, by the way, has never happened, right? It's no one has ever achieved socialism. But let's say you have a socialist government, whatever that means. It's not defined. But then the government is so socialized at the top, right? The top, the concentration of power at the top is communism. I'm saying, I'm trying to wrap my fucking head around this one, okay? So, what if I said that 10 families, I should say, in the whole planet, all humans on Earth, have more wealth than the bottom 60% combined? What if I told you that? Is that communism? What if I told you that the richest people in the country paid no taxes? Is that communism? I'm trying to, right? I'm trying to figure this out. So socialism, part 1, socialism. Part 2, power, corruption at the top. Part 3, communism. So it becomes communism. I'm sorry for spending so much time on this. But this is like a tongue twister. You know, this is like a puzzle. I'm solving a Rubik's Cube or something. This is like Hellraiser shit. Okay, I'm trying to solve this puzzle box. Okay, so people somehow in a government become socialist, right? Something happens. It's like the Big Bang. We don't really know. Something happens. It's socialist now. And then because it's socialist, there's corruption that accumulates and power is concentrated at the top of society. And then once that happens, then magically it becomes communism. So, okay. Now let's try to, now that we finally understand that, let's move on, okay? But it deliberately makes no distinction between those regimes and more contemporary leftist projects with commitments to democracy. Now, what is democracy? Democracy is everyone has a say. There are no democracies on Earth, by that logic. If everyone has equal say, that would be communism. What is communism? Everyone's needs are met. Everyone is a horizontal power structure. No one has more power than anyone else. That's communism, right? So what is democracy? Everyone has a say. Now you can say you can have a democratic country that's not necessarily communistic. That's true. But they're very similar themes. Either way, we don't live in a world where everyone has an equal voice. In a world where billionaires can purchase politicians, I can't purchase a politician. Therefore, we don't have equal say. Therefore, it's not a democracy. Right? We've never had a democracy ever at any point in human history. Ever. Outside of like, you know, maybe like your household, like you vote on what you want to order for takeout or something. That's democracy. But on like a society-wide, like big culture, we've never really had a democracy. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say we probably never will. To have a true democracy, you have to abolish coercion and manipulation. Like, we still live in a world where boomers on Facebook are swinging elections based on like ivermectin, right? You know, so you know, it's not. We don't live in a democracy, so we got to be really. We like, these words mean something. Like, a lot of these words like are so drenched in like political fucking garbage that people just don't know. Like, they forget what the word means. But like, these words have meaning, and we should use them. Because otherwise, why even say the words? Why say socialism and communism and democracy if they don't mean anything? Right? For example, in this resolution, Stalin is puzzlingly grouped together with the late Venezuelan president Hugo Chavez. Stalin was infamous for horrific autocratic repression, which included mass imprisonment and executions. By contrast, Chavez operated as the popular head of an affluent modern democracy in Latin America, and he did a great deal of transformative economic good for his country with his interpretation of socialist principles, even while under siege from the United States. This isn't to defend everything Chavez did, blah, 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 blah. Now, you can read the rest of this, I guess, but this article just basically goes into why the whole thing is a little silly. But I do agree the Democrats are fucking stupid. I mean, I feel like I don't need to read the rest of this. But Democrats are fucking stupid. The 109 Democrats that went along with that, I mean, again, why give the Republicans a win? Why not say, we're all just going to vote present because this bill is virtue signaling garbage? What if Hakeem Jeffries was like, all right, everyone in the caucus, we're all going to vote present, not yay, not nay. The United Democratic Caucus, vote present with one single message. This is a waste of our time. This is identity politics. This is virtue signaling. Let's actually get to the kitchen table issues. That would be a powerful message from Hakeem Jeffries. He didn't do that? Why? Because he's a fucking dumbass, right? Like, these people are fucking ridiculously stupid. Like, they're just dumb. Like, Democrats are dumb. Like, Republicans are dumb, but at least they know how to play the game. Democrats are dumb, and they can't even play the game. They're just fucking dumb. Like, they're just dumb motherfuckers. I don't know what to tell you. Democrats are dumb motherfuckers. Republicans are dumb motherfuckers that really know how to win. They know how to win. Okay? Democrats, they know how to lose, right? That's a worthwhile lesson to be learned, right? How to lose, right? But anyway, and they're just dumb. They're dumb. They're so fucking stupid. Like, they're just dumb, man. I hate Democrats. Holy shit. Dumbass motherfucking shit. Jesus fucking Christ. Are we still virtue signaling about Joseph Stalin when there's a giant part of the Republican Party that worships Adolf Hitler? Like, and we're whinging about Joseph fucking Stalin and the horrors of socialism, and then socialism gets corrupt, and once it's corrupted, it's communism. Whatever, man.